For Rich Strike, the 80-1 outsider who shocked the world, the morning after the Derby felt almost unreal. Only days before, he had been a last-minute addition. Now, he was the name on every headline. But inside his stall he stood quietly, unaware of odds, unaware of fame. He only knew the rhythm of breathing. The trainer sat outside the barn, coffee untouched, replaying the final stretch again and again in his mind. That tiny opening on the rail, that fearless decision. If that gap had closed, if that step had been slower, history would have chosen someone else. But it didn't, because sometimes destiny hides in narrow spaces. For Mage, the 149th Derby winner, victory felt different. It wasn't an explosion of shock, it was the release of pressure. He had carried expectations, he had carried doubt. With limited experience, many questioned whether he was ready. But his connections believed in patience. The night after his victory, his jockey couldn't sleep. He remembered the moment Mage changed gears in the final stretch. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't wild. It was controlled, confident, as if the horse himself knew it was time. The Derby is often described as chaos. 20 horses, pounding hooves, split-second decisions. But inside that chaos, Mage found clarity. And that clarity carried him home. Then there was Mystik Dan. The 150th Derby was heavy with history. Every stride felt symbolic. Weeks later, life began to move forward. The racing world does not stop. New headlines appear. New contenders rise. But for the teams behind these three champions, everything had changed. Rich Strike's victory reminded the sport that miracles are possible. Mage's triumph proved that growth and belief can overcome inexperience. One evening, months after the 150th Derby, the sun set once again over Churchill Downs. The track looked ordinary, empty, quiet, but if you stood still long enough, you could almost hear echoes. Rich Strike charging down the rail. Mage finding strength in the stretch. Mystik Dan reaching for the wire. 3 years, 3 heart-stopping finishes. 3 reminders that greatness is unpredictable.